Let's see here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Things happen sometimes. Let me just get this completed here. All set up, and we'll be ready to go. I don't know why, but sometimes when you make the live stream, when you create the live stream, you put it to horizontal and it stays at vertical. And then when you go in, you can't change it. And it's like, I don't want vertical. They just don't understand this. They force you, YouTube forces you because they're trying to get people to put videos in a vertical format so that they can compete with TikTok and Instagram and things like this. And I don't like it. So, I mean, I don't use it. I don't like it. I don't want it. And so here I am. I get stuck, you know. And anyway, I got it. I think I got it fixed here, but I'm trying to just finish up here some things that need to be done in order for me to continue with this stream in the way that I want. I'm just about done. Here we go. One more thing here. Okay. All right, so that should be, we should be copacetic. Let's see here. Yes, okay. Very nice. You go take a shower there, two quarters. Or as my friend calls you, two penny Korean. I don't know why he calls you that, but that's what he calls you. So anyway, we're here. We're back. Everything should be copacetic now. This should be just like the one that didn't work. You know, I don't like seeing, they got this Tai Chi commercial on all the time, and it's terrible. All right. Good morning, everybody. Sawati ton chao. How's everybody doing? Sabay mai? Sabay mai? Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Crazy. Sometimes YouTube gets a little squirrely, and for all the videos and live streams that they have up, what are you gonna do? You can't fault them for making a mistake or something going wrong, or you know anything. Hey Cyrus, how you doing? All right, so today we're going to talk about Bangkok. Now, why didn't I put this here? Little mistake. Bangkok versus the cheapest states in the United States, and the cost of living and what it really means. Okay, because quite frankly, you'll be surprised. I was a little surprised because I always think of Thailand as cheaper, but not necessarily cheap. Now, that's probably because I live in Bangkok, and Bangkok is more expensive than, say, even Pattaya, Chiang Mai. It's a little more expensive. right, are we ready to go here? Let's see. Yes, we are. Okay. Now, let's be honest. The conversation around cost of living has been heating up for quite some time. And I said it about it. God, it's had to be 15, 18 years ago. I said, well, Cambodia is going to catch up with Thailand. Now, they haven't caught up as far as the things to do in the country, but they're starting to catch up in that more and more people want to go there. They're still not there. And I don't think they ever will be there. But it is an alternative for some people. And I have a friend that lives there. I have another friend that has somebody who used to live there. And you know, Americans are being squeezed out by higher rents, uh, healthcare bills kind of look like mortgages back there, and grocery prices just keep going up. They're climbing every single week. I mean, you know, uh, listen, I can get for, I think it's 30 eggs for 130 baht. So that's a little more than 4 baht an egg, which is 48 baht, which is about $1.50 for a dozen eggs. Okay, that's not bad. Now, if you people keep saying, like politicians and the media outlets, they keep saying, "Oh, if you want to live cheaper, go to a cheaper state like Mississippi, West Virginia, Kansas, and you'll be fine." Well, not everybody wants to live in Mississippi. Nothing against Mississippi. I mean, I've been there. I haven't lived there, but I've been through there. I've been through Alabama, Arkansas. I've been through all those states. But the question nobody really is asking is, how do these cheap states actually stack up against the prices in a place like Bangkok, Thailand, where it is amongst the most expensive, if not the most expensive, maybe aside from Phuket, places in Thailand to live. And that's what we're going to look into. So, you know, I've lived here for, as most of you know, for over 30 years. And I can tell you, this is not just about cheap rent or cheap street food. It's about the overall quality of life. What are you actually getting for your money? Like in Bangkok, what does $2,000 a month buy you? Do you get something totally different than, say, in the South and like, or the Midwest? You're not just buying groceries, you're not just getting rent, but you're living, and there are things that you need to pay for day to day. You keep the lights on with your electricity. You're buying, now my electricity I think is a little bit expensive even for Thailand. It's about $160 a month on average. It's been as high as 2,500, what is that, no, $250 a month, and it's been as low as about 120. But we have, now we just had our air conditioners. What do they do? You know, they I don't know exactly what they do when they come. They're not putting Freon in anymore, but they cleaned them out and did everything, and now the thing is a lot colder. So the energy level that it uses is not what it was, say, 3 months ago when it was really dirty. They went and cleaned it out, and did everything. So I expect our electric bill to be a little bit less this month. Well, not this month because I already paid it this month, but next month. Um, and you know, when you come to Thailand, you are buying kind of a level of confidence. You know, you're going to get a certain quality, and you're getting a convenience, and in many cases, um, a dignity that in some of the other states you're just not going to get. You know, I mean, I don't want to live in a listen. My house, it's a little run down because it's older, but it's very nice and it's very comfortable. And I don't know, I would rather live here than live in, say, Mississippi or Arkansas or Kansas. I just, you know, let's imagine that you're in Jackson, Mississippi, where the rent is cheaper. Maybe you can score a one-bedroom apartment for $900 to $1,100 if you're not too picky. All right, let's just say you get it down to 700. That's great, right? But you still need a car. You know, America is not a place where public transportation is fantastic. It's just not. I mean, you look at just about anywhere, and public transportation in the United States is not very good. Okay. So you need a car. You got to add in, maybe you got to pay, if you don't buy it outright, you got to make a car payment. You got to pay for insurance. You got to pay for gas. You got to pay for maintenance. And that's another $600 to $800 a month. And healthcare, forget about it. I don't even want to know what the cost of healthcare in the United States is. I know some people are paying like $1,000 a month, maybe for just them and their wife, or something, maybe just for them, depending. But we don't pay that here. Uh, Forget about it. We're not paying the premiums. We're not like that. It just doesn't happen. And if something serious happens, you could be looking at what will really crush you financially, even if you do have insurance. Now, your day to day, you got places like Walmart, you got chain restaurants, maybe you got some small town diners, and that's about it. Life is affordable, but you're not exactly living rich. And let me tell you something: if you got $2,000 to $3,000 here, you can live rich. I mean, I've done it, and I was making about almost 5 grand a month, and my wife was making, maybe at that point she was making, uh, she's making about $2,000, 1,800, and together, I mean, that was like, wow, we don't have any worries about money. Now, fast forward, uh, 15 years, I'm not making the same money. She's making more money. But, if you jump over to Bangkok, you can find a moderate condo in the city with a pool, a gym, all the amenities, security guard. I mean, $600-700. Now you can find cheaper, but it's not going to be as nice. But for $600-700, you're going to find a really nice condo in Bangkok. You don't need a car if you live in Bangkok. Even if you live in a city in in the Bangkok, in the countryside, they have rotus, they have motorbikes, they have tuk-tuks, they have buses. There's all kinds of ways to get around. So depending on the city, you may or may not be able to get around very easily. Now, the meals, if you want to eat out 3 times a day, um, you could probably do so for less than the cost of what it costs you in a diner now. I mean, I get surprised. I see burgers in the United States, and I go, $25 for a burger? You got to be kidding me, man. And the healthcare, like I said, uh, I don't even know how to say it, but like, if you're in Thailand, you want to get a checkup, it might set you back less than what your deductible is in the United States. And then there's the lifestyle factor, the energy, the convenience, the culture, the food variety. And there is a lot of food variety here in Bangkok. And the fact that you can walk out of your building and you can get something from a street vendor. Maybe they're selling mango, maybe they're selling some coffee, maybe they're selling pad thai, whatever it is. You can get it. Now, in the United States, you might have to drive somewhere 20 minutes to get to where you're going to get what you want. And the bottom line is this: the cost of living isn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. I mean, really, it's about what the value is and what you are getting for your dollar. It's about what kind of life you can live, and you feel like you're really living, not just sitting at home every day and going, well, I'm going to go to the local bar on Friday night and hang out with my buddies. And that's really all you got to do. I'm going to go play pool today with my buddies. Wow, you're so excited because you get to go out, once or twice a week. Now, not everybody is like that in America. I know that, but it depends. So, and also it depends on what kind of stress you're carrying. Listen, I mean, I'm older now, right? So I don't have to carry as much stress as I used to. And I used to have jobs that I was very stressed out. But now I have a laid back lifestyle. I have almost no stress. The only stress I get is from my wife. She comes home, oh God, what a day at work. Oh. You know, I'm so tired now. I can't believe they did this. And listen to what happened to me. And it's like, you know, that's about the only real stress I have. I don't worry about, am I going to live? Am I going to live okay? What happens if something happens? I don't really think about those things because I don't have to, because I'm living fairly well. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. Bangkok versus America's cheapest states. Who wins, who loses, and why? Oof. The shoulder, it's been a little more than 3 months now. And the shoulder still hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much. It just depends on where I move and how I move and if I'm laying on it or something like that. So anyway, yeah, let me get into some of these comments. If you don't know, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, and I've been living here for more than 3 decades. Um, so that's I'm coming up on almost half of my life now, which is saying something. Pretty soon I'll be living here more than I lived in the United States. So, what does that make me? Well, guess what? I'm still a guest here, which, whatever. I didn't want to get into that, but that's the way it goes. And who knows if I'm going to stay here? Who knows? I don't know. I know I'll be here for probably a couple of years, but I don't know after that. And that's the kind of thing that I think about. Um, got people walking around here today. What time is it? It's not even 9 o'clock. People are walking around in the mall. Okay, Jackson, Mississippi versus Tonglor. You can also compare Farangs and no Farangs living in Thailand. I live in a small Thai village, dirt cheap, fast internet, and stable electric supply. Yeah, but not everybody wants to live like that. And I understand because I want to live in a place, I'm a little picky about where I want to live. And I just kind of, my wife knows what I like and what I don't like. And she knows I don't want to live in the middle of everything where I walk out and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's so much noise, so many people, there's people living right next to me. They're on top of me. I almost never see my neighbors. Once in a while, hey, how you doing? All right, boom, that's it. And there's not all that much noise. So I'm okay with it for now. But I would like to live out in a village, but I want to make sure I'm near a hospital, fairly near a hospital, so that if something happens, I'm not going to die if I don't get treated in, an hour. Dang, dude, my electric bill on average is around 75, near 100 if we are hosting wife's family. 75 or 100 baht for your electric bill? You got to be kidding me, man. My electric bill for my 800 square foot condo has been averaging $140 these past few months. South Florida used to rarely go over $100. Paying $912 for a 1 bedroom in the U.S., but I do need a car. Have $2,750 monthly budget and I don't know what it is, and a what? Um, you're talking about in dollars. You see, I'm talking about in baht. I got 5,000 baht is about the average for our electric bill. That's about 155, 160 baht. Why don't you just give her like 100,000 baht? Okay, you'll be fine then. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. 75 to $100. Well, $100 is 3,200 baht or so, a little bit more, and that's not too bad, really. To me, that's not too bad. Now, I know guys. My buddy who lives in Cambodia, he had it was a 1 bedroom, but the bedroom was just kind of separated by a uh, like a bookcase or something. So it was really one big studio separated and divided up. And he used to just, he was up on the, I don't know what it was, the 27th floor. He used to open up the window and then the air would come in and he would get cool that way, even if it was a hot day. Excuse me. Um, and so he didn't turn on the air much. And his electric bill was under 1,000 baht a month. It was like 800 baht a month. And his water was like 100 baht. My water bill this month was 480 baht. You know, we got 4 people living in the house. And I mean, the electricity, I don't even want to get into because we have 2 refrigerators. We have, you know, we have all the amenities. We have microwave, hot water maker, oven. It's an electric oven. Air fryer. We have 2 of those. So we have a lot of appliances. And not only that, we have a lot of laptops, a lot of computers. And then we have people using the water all the time, right? So it's going to cost more. My 50 square foot average 3,000 baht for electric, but I like it cold all the time. Now, what I want to say is that we, you know, since we got our air conditioners worked on, which I think they just cleaned them out, sprayed them out, you know, got all the dust out of them and stuff like that. I'm telling you, I mean, I had to crank it down to 18 to get it to where it was cold in the living room. Now, my wife puts it at 23, and then when she leaves, I turn it to 25 because it's freezing. I want to move there so bad. I'm afraid to sell my house. I just spent I think it's 2.5 months there. I loved it. Well, don't let fear stop you, man. I mean, really, don't let fear stop you because fear will always stop you if you let it. I mean, if you really want to do it, you know, you better think about it. If you really want to do it, then do it. I live in a townhouse with my wife. We pay 2,000 baht for electric, 100 baht for water on average. I usually use the fan, just aircon when sleeping. I only use windows open, fresh air if Bangkok's having a decent air quality day. Yo, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I understand. You know, we have a condo, it's 2 stories, and there's 1 air conditioner on the bottom and 1 air conditioner up top. And at night we turn them both on, and usually we turn them off in the middle of the night. And it's usually cool enough where we don't have to turn it on. I mean, really, we don't have to turn it on again until we come back. Like me, I go out. Usually I go out and do something like, you know, I come to have coffee or I go somewhere and run an errand and do whatever I got to do. And then when I come back, it's usually between 1 and about 4. Then I turn the air conditioner on and it starts getting cool. And then I shut it off again after a couple hours. That's what I'm doing now. But, you know, it depends on there's a lot of things it depends on. I'll say that. All right. So I think you guys know. Do me a favor, click the like button. I haven't said that yet. Subscribe. Send a super chat, please. That's nice. That shows you love me. Yeah, you love me. Um, if you want, join the VIP section of this channel. Go down below, hit the join button. Uh, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll get notified of anything that's upcoming. And if you want to email me, an American in Bangkok at gmail.com. There you go. All right. So, you know, if you say Bangkok rent versus Mississippi, West Virginia, which West Virginia is the cheapest place supposedly in the United States, or Arkansas, uh, Bangkok, a 1-bedroom modern condo with a pool and a gym might be $600 a month. And in West Virginia, a 1-bedroom apartment in Charleston is $950 a month. And the big difference is that in Bangkok, you don't need a car. And everybody talks about this. Why don't you have a car? Why don't you have a car? Listen, I keep thinking about buying a motorcycle because I used to have motorcycles. What people don't know is that before I came to Thailand, every vehicle I had was a motorcycle. I only had 2 cars in my life. That's all I've had is 2 cars. But I've had 9 motorcycles. I had a Suzuki GS 850. At the time, it was the fastest production motorcycle. Or was it an 1100? I had a Kawasaki 1100. I had a couple 650s. I had all kinds of things. Thank you very much there, Mr. Two Quarters. A rare super chat. I don't love you. Well, thank you. Please give him a thumbs up. That was that's very nice of him. So give him a thumbs up. Do what you can for him. I tried turning it off in the middle of the night, then I wake up sweaty and turn it back on. Yeah, but you're odd. You're strange. I mean, let's just face it. You are. You're strange. Moving to Thailand was a smart move. I never regretted it. No, I don't regret it at all. There are a few regrets that I have, but I'm going to get into that in another video. And they're not, I mean, really, you know, I don't know. I mean, this is my path. This is the path I took. I didn't have to take it, but I did. It's the way that it goes. I did take the path, and that's the way it goes. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. You know, you make the choice, you stick with it, and you go. And then after a year or two, if you go, you know, this just isn't working, I don't like it. You either go back home or you find another place to go, and that's what you do. Seriously. I mean, personally, I don't want to live in West Virginia. It's beautiful there, but you know, you got to think about something. Even in Thailand, if I was to go and have a nice bungalow right on the beach, I would look out of my bungalow. I'd go, oh, it's so beautiful. And maybe every morning I would wake up and go, oh, it's so beautiful out. But after a while, I'm going to go, okay, so it's beautiful. My eyes, they feel good because I look at this lovely view. But it doesn't do anything for me other than that. And maybe that counts for something for a half an hour, 5 minutes. But then after that, I'm like, okay, so it's beautiful, but I still have to make sure I eat. I still have to shower, shave. I still have to do all these things. It doesn't matter where I am. You still got to live. Now, if you want to talk about condo amenities versus bare bone apartments in the cheaper United States, I mean, I just think you're going to get far more here than you will there. Would you rather have a condo that's high up? Maybe, you know, you got a penthouse. You're up, I don't know, I forget what John was on, maybe the 29th floor, something like that. He's way up there. He's got a good view of the city, although most of the time it's kind of smoggy. Yeah, I don't know. You know, would you rather live in a nice condo in Bangkok for less than you would live in some of these cheaper states? And you don't need a car. If you want to have a car, you can have one. I don't really recommend it because it's a pain in the ass. Unless you drive it. I have a friend that he has a car. And what he does is when he feels like going for a drive, he gets right on the freeway and gets out of Bangkok. And he starts driving. And he might drive for 2 hours, but he's out of Bangkok. And he's on the freeway. There's not that many cars, and it's very easy. But if he's in the city and he's driving around, that's a nightmare. And I don't want that, you know. But you might have you're in West Virginia. You might have like a house, and it's not 2 stories, not 3 stories. You're living right on the ground floor, and maybe you have 2 cars in the driveway, and that's what you want. Well, it's a trade-off. Now, another trade-off is the food and the lifestyle. Street food here, it used to be 50 cents to $1. Now it's $2 to $3. And Western food is pricier, but it's still cheaper than in the U.S. Listen, I get these packs of salmon, okay? And they're big fillets of salmon. They're 95 baht each. That's about $3. And I'll buy like 10 of them. And, every other day I have a piece of salmon. My wife, she spent 50 bucks, bought fresh salmon. She didn't want to buy the frozen fillets. I said, buy the fillets. They're very good. Just let them defrost. She spent 50 bucks and she got, it's like 4 pieces of, good pieces of salmon. And my kids ate them. I just go, that's for you guys. You guys eat that. And she's like, oh, next time I'm just going to buy like 10 of those salmon. Like, that's what you do. Because the kids don't care. So they eat 2 pieces. Big deal. It's still cheaper, right? And that's kind of how I save money. Now, I just went out yesterday. Well, I didn't go out. I ordered online. I ordered some food from Bangkok Bob's. I didn't know this, but I bought some sausages, beef sausages. There was only 3 of them. That was 190 baht. Now that's a little bit high because most of the time I can get like 6, 7 sausages, and it's about 220 baht in the grocery store. But I didn't know, and I thought they were more than that. So that's fine. I bought some minced lamb. I bought 500 grams of minced lamb, which is 300. No, yeah, 310 baht. Then I bought 6 of the Wagyu beef burgers. They're already made, and they're 570 baht. And then I bought 3 of the Angus burgers. You throw them in the air fryer. That's it. And they're really no fat, not much fat, good fat. There's no carbs. You don't get any carbs. And so I buy that kind of stuff, but I buy lamb and, that kind of stuff, lamb chops. And those are about anywhere from 400 to 1,500, but I don't usually buy those. You can get a really good steak for about 450 baht. A Delmonico steak, a Denver steak. You get one of these steaks from this place, and I mean, it's like 13, 14 bucks, but you get a phenomenal steak. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, in Mississippi, a diner breakfast might run you 12 to 15 bucks. The groceries in Bangkok, I would say they're either even or they go down the line, they're less. Up to about 40% less, depending on what you get. It really depends. If you're buying imported food, it's not going to be cheaper. I've been buying a lot of mackerel and sardines lately because they're high in protein. They're very good for you. And they got fish oil and all that other kind of stuff. And they are the mackerel's 99 baht if you get it on sale, and it's 109 if you don't. The sardines are 119 baht. That's a little more than $3. But you get a can, and that can will, I don't want to say it'll fill you up, but it makes a good portion of your meal. And it's not that big. So, the Thai food is very different than in the U.S. where it's meat and potatoes for the most part. But if you want to eat Thai here, it will change your lifestyle. But you can also eat fresh Western food. Really, you can buy it fresh. I mean, I go to the grocery, and now I don't go every day because I'm trying to not spend as much at the grocery because I spend too damn much. I probably go about every 2 or 3 days. And maybe I got to buy milk and bread and eggs. Yesterday, I went and bought 20 eggs for 120 baht. And they're the extra large eggs. So I was like, hey, I'll take it. Now, let's see here. Food in Thailand can save you money, but again, it's a different lifestyle. If you're going out to eat all the time and eating Thai food like street food, and personally, I did a video not long ago, a couple years ago, 2 years ago or so, and all I did was eat street food for 7 days. And let me tell you something, I got sick of it, man. I don't like eating Thai food. Thai food is like any other food. Sometimes I'll have a Thai meal for breakfast. And what is a Thai meal? You have an omelet. If you put a little fish sauce in it, well, now it's a Thai omelet. If you don't put fish sauce in it, it's just an omelet, right? Put some red onion in there, whatever you want to put in there, a little cheese. That's not really a Thai omelet. I think you get it at the specialty stores. That's just my own opinion. Like Bangkok Bob's, maybe Paleo Robbie, but they're a little pricey. There's a couple of places. I forget the name of that other place, but my wife owns a car. I have my driver's license, but I never drive. My favorite transportation is bus number 11, then public transport. Frozen and smoked salmon twice a week, right from Macro. I know Macro has salmon also, and I did buy some when I was in the South. I went to Macro, and I don't particularly like Macro. I just don't like it. It's just not the kind of grocery store that I go, wow, I want to go look around here, and I know where everything is, and I want to buy my food here. No, I don't usually. I don't know what it is about Macro. And Lotus also. To me, Lotus has poor quality. Saw 2 Thai girls in my town today. Went to go visit Richard at his shop. Oh, really? How's he doing? I talked to him, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Better. Okay. But his shop's doing all right. Avoid processed food, my friend. Dude, I don't eat any processed food. Really, I don't. I eat cucumbers, tomatoes, Greek yogurt, um, beef, lamb, fish. I mean, that's how I'm eating now. I've lost, what is it now? 11.4 kilos. So I'm getting to where I want to be. The issue I found is that they basically deep fry the omelet. It's completely submerged in oil when they cook it. Also, there is sugar and everything. Well, that's why you got to cook it yourself, because I don't deep fry it. I put maybe a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I have a wok, and I get the olive oil to coat the area that the omelet is going to be cooking. I cook the omelet. I make sure that I break it at the right time and flip it. Then I put whatever I want inside of it, which is usually just onions, maybe a little garlic and some cheese. Now I don't put a lot of cheese anymore. I don't put much at all, just maybe a half an ounce or an ounce of cheese. But I don't put sugar in it. I don't put sugar in anything ever. And I don't eat fruit now. I may eat some berries once in a while, like raspberries, blueberries, but that's about it. I'm not eating strawberries. I'm not eating bananas. I'm not eating oranges. I spend 5 to 6 thousand about a month for groceries to catch as I cook and eat at home. We eat out once a week. Yeah, that's pretty cheap, actually, to me. We got 4 people, and we spend between 24 and 30,000 baht a month. Olive oil or butter? I have not used butter probably in 2 months. I haven't used any butter, none at all. And I know, keto says, oh, use the butter. I use a little bit of olive oil. Sometimes on my uh, cucumbers and tomatoes, I put a little olive oil on there and some pepper. What else do I eat a lot of? Zucchini. I like zucchini. You know, so cooking at home is good for you most of the time. And if you're gonna go out, know where you're going, know what they have available. Know what you can eat, something that is good. Instead, like, to me, I don't want to go out and go, oh, they got pad thai, pad see cow pad guy, and I just go, I don't want to eat this stuff. There's too many carbs in it. And I know that's being picky, but I'm trying to reform the way that I eat and get back to how I used to eat, which was a lot healthier. Um, you know, if you want to stockpile frozen pizzas in Alabama as opposed to what you can do here, go for it. Now, when it comes to the hospitals, listen, the private hospitals here, they're not necessarily cheap, in my opinion. Even with insurance, they're not cheap. I mean, if you got a bill that's 500,000 and you got to pay 20%, well, that's still 100,000. But the cost here is far less than what it is in the United States. An MRI in Thailand, well, they're saying $250. It might be more like $500. It depends. Depends on where you have it done. But in the US, it might be $2,000. And major surgery, listen, I had surgery here on my hip. I had a hip replacement. It's 10,000. Now, in the United States, it might be 50. It might be 100, depending on the hospital you go to. It's crazy. In cheap US states, healthcare is still rather expensive. Medicare, insurance premiums, deductibles can reach the thousands of dollars. I've had many, many experiences with hospitals here over the years. I mean, one of the first times that I went to a hospital here, I went to Bumrungrad, and the reason I went was because I was going into the bars all the time, and people could smoke then, and so I was getting my lungs were getting irritated from all the smoke because I don't smoke. They were getting irritated from me going into the bars every day and breathing the smoke, and it really wrecked my lungs. I went into the doctor, and the doctor goes, "Listen, you need to be on oxygen, and we need to, give you some antibiotics. Uh, you got bronchitis, and you got all these other things." So I did that. 3 nights in the hospital, 15,000 baht. Now this is probably 1995, maybe even 1994, but 15,000 baht, and it was like 40 to the dollar or something. So I was like, man, it was cheap. Now, would you rather walk into Bumrungrad with 200 bucks, 300 bucks, or wait 6 months to see a doctor in Mississippi? I mean, what is this with the wait times? I don't understand how come the United States can't get it together with their healthcare system. They don't have it together. It's crazy. First of all, the prices. Second of all, the wait times. And third of all, the level of care that you get now in Thailand is better than what you get in the US, in my opinion, in some places. In some places, it's not. You need to go somewhere else to get better care. That's how it works. All right, let me read this stuff here. Certain healthy things are dirt cheap, eggs, vegetables, but the supermarkets are way more expensive than. Yeah, but I don't always want to go to the neighborhood wet markets. First of all, I don't want to buy meat at the wet market. Okay, I just don't. If I go down here, I'm not going to go at 8 o'clock in the morning when the meat's, or I mean, really, the meat's put out at like 4 in the morning, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to go there early. I don't want to go in the afternoon if it starts getting hot and the meat's been sitting out there for hours. I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy meat. Now, fish is a different story because they often keep it in water. So maybe I'd buy the fish. My wife buys shrimp quite often, and she gets a great deal on the shrimp. She might buy like 2-3 kilos of shrimp. She buys squid. Okay, I understand that stuff. But the vegetables are what I usually get. I used to get fruit. But now I can tell you what, I haven't gone there in. The only thing I went to go buy some mint, but I couldn't find any. So I buy it here, and it's 30 baht, which is not even $1, and it lasts me for about 2 weeks. I think my wife and I spend around 6,000 baht on groceries a month, but we also go out or order in more often than most. I don't track those numbers, but guarantee it says $10,000. Yeah, I know it's probably 10,000. Most people are spending more than they think on food, and if you write down every little bit that you spend, you'll figure it out. Bangkok hospital, not cheap. $10,000 for cataract surgery. Well, how much is it in the United States? In the United States, the cost of cataract surgery ranges from 3,500 to 7,000 per eye without insurance. However, this cost can fluctuate. Now, what I see here in Thailand is Let me see here. $1,200 to $1,800 per eye. So, you might spend $4,000 to get both eyes done. But 10,000, I don't know. You might want to check around at the hospitals in Bangkok because there is a huge difference in the prices. Well, medical is much cheaper in Thailand. It's still not cheap when paying out of pocket. That's what I mean. People say, "Oh, it's so cheap there." No, it's not. It's not cheap. It's cheaper. And in some cases, it's not cheaper. It's the same amount. It's money and our government. That's it. They won't negotiate prices as other countries. And believe it or not, many companies charge other countries less while knowing they can make the money back. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. The whole system, honestly, the system is corrupt. It's corrupted. And I think it's so corrupted, they don't know what to do now. Where was your hip replacement done, and were you happy with the treatment and service? Yes, I was very happy with the treatment and service, and it was done in Chiang Mai at Rajavech Hospital. I had a great doctor, and he was an Indian American. I think he was born in America to Indian parents, and then he went and lived in India for a little while, and no, Indian and Thai parents. And then he came here. He speaks fluent Thai, speaks fluent English. I mean, he speaks English just like me, and he's highly recommended. So, I mean, I had it done about 6 years ago. I have a video of about the pain afterwards, and for the first 6 hours or so, it was painful. But after about 24 hours, I mean, I was like, I could kind of sit up and move around. And what is CGH? I don't know what that is. Okay, and the next thing is the transportation. Oh man. Central General Hospital in was that Sukhothai? Is that what you're saying? Let me see. Sapan Mai. Okay. Never heard of that hospital, quite honestly. But I went. I've been to a couple. I mean, I've been to probably 10 hospitals, 12 hospitals in my life here. Some of them for things that were more serious than others. I mean, sometimes I went, I just got a shot, or listen, Nicholas needed a shot, 130 baht for the shot. I was like, I'll give it to you, no problem. And you don't have to pay nothing. And we started thinking about it, and I went, I don't want to hear my wife complaining. All I need to do is renew your license, renew your drone license. Okay. So now I'm getting a message about my drone because drones are now alone. If you don't know, drones were banned until August 15th. Now they are allowed with some stipulations, but it's basically just the same stipulations as before. So now I need to renew my. I need to renew everything. I need to renew my license and all that good stuff. But I don't know. Let me see something here. Ooh. Yes, thank you. What is this? What happened to, let's see here. Oh, it was just a message. Okay, I see. Never mind. Never mind. All right, let's see. What does this say here? Have you ever gotten treatment at a public hospital? How was the wait and the cost? I haven't. But I've been with people in my family that did. And I've had friends that went there, and they all really liked it. They were like, "Hey, it was great." Now, if you have a serious condition uh, where you're like dying or something like that, it's not the best place to be, because some of the places will make you do things that nurses should be doing. I'm talking about, you're the one who has got to change the bedpan. You're the one who has to change. You might have to. The nurse will give you the sheets. You got to change the sheets yourself. She might help you move the patient, and then you got to put the sheets on. And imagine, you're in there and you got to change the bedpans. That's not. I don't know. I mean, that's you can get over that. But all in all, I would rather go to a private hospital than a public hospital. But if I needed to go to a public hospital, I would. Now, the hospital I went to, Rajavich, was a private hospital, but I would say it was an older private hospital. Very clean, very nice, but you could see it was like they didn't have the shiny new counters and all that. It was kind of old, but it was great. They gave me great service. The doctor was fantastic. The nurses were awesome, except one who kept stabbing my hand and couldn't find the blood vessel. Crazy. And I've long forgotten her, but I don't remember her stabbing my hand like 4 times. And I'm going, you're sticking me in you're just sticking a needle in me. You're not sticking it in the blood vessel. Few countries have good healthcare system. Anything serious, I go back to the U.S. and go through VA. I can go to the VA also. I had a hernia surgery 2 years ago, cost $27. Add in flight costs, paying less. Bangkok. Yeah. Good morning, Paul. Yeah, I could do the same thing. And the only problem with that is that if you, hey, Sammy, how you doing? The only problem with that is that if you have something that's acute or that's pressing and you don't have time to fly back, well, you're stuck. Went to Boomerang once, got registered, got my ID card, saw a nurse, saw a doctor, got my meds, and paid about $55 for all. Lasted an hour and 30 minutes, had a great time, free drinks, nice furniture. Yeah, well, you're lucky to get out of there for $55, or that's 1,800 baht or something. You're lucky to get out of there paying that much, because Boomerang is an more expensive hospital. It's like Bangkok General. Now it's like Waitany, man. You know, and the thing is that people don't understand. And I hate to say this, because when you go into a hospital, all you want to do is get well really quickly. Just get me better, get me better. Oh, I'm in pain. Get me better. That's what you want, right? But with Waitany, probably 3 or 4 times I've had to fight with them about the price. They would give me a price. Okay, it's going to cost 100,000 baht. Then I get the bill. It's 150,000. I'm like, no, you told me 100,000. Now you got to stick. I mean, okay, if there's a variance of about 5 or 10%, yeah, I understand. If something drastic happens, like, oh God, we've got to do open heart surgery on him. Okay, I understand. But when you go in and everything goes normally, and then they bring you a bill that's 50% higher or 35% higher than what it's supposed to be, I just go, hey, no, I'm not paying this. I'm paying what you told me. An estimate, nothing changed. Why am I paying 50% more? And they hemmed and hawed. Oh my God, I don't know why you won't pay this. It's okay. These things happen and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, sorry, I'm not paying it. I'm very nice. I don't get difficult with them. I just go, I can't pay this. I'm very sorry. Why not? Because you told me one price and now you're changing the price. They did that like 4 times. And every single time they backed down and they gave me the cheaper price. I did public hospital to have a giant cyst removed from my back. It took 2 weeks to get seen, another week for removal, and then checkup another week. So about a month. Well, that's not too bad. How you doing there, Sammy? Can't compare healthcare in Thailand with the U.S. It's like the difference between paradise and hell. I have been to Bangkok Hospital several times, booked a hotel next to the hospital for 1,000 baht a night. I just need to walk there or take the hospital golf cart. Expensive, but top quality service. Yeah. Healthcare a business, unfortunately. Until that fundamentally changes, it will probably not get better. I don't foresee it getting better in my lifetime. And what I remember is being a little boy, and my father was a doctor. I was a little boy, and I remember him making house calls. And I remember doctors going to people's houses to see some kid or some older person or something like that. The doctors would come there, and it was always friendly. And, I mean, you always think things were better in the past, but this truly was better. Now you go into the hospital and it's like a fucking production line. Let's get you in and out of here, buddy. And I'll tell you what, when I went into the VA, there was a doctor. She was like a Jamaican American doctor, very, very attractive woman. She's about 35, and very polite, very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but she was very proper and polite, and just she was everything that you would want a doctor to be to you. She was very friendly. And let me tell you, she sat down. She said, "Have a seat." I sat down. This is after she examined me. She started telling me a few things, and then we started talking. Next thing you know, we're talking about Thailand. And she's like, "Oh, that's so interesting." We spent a half an hour, an hour. It didn't take her long to check me out. It might have taken me a half an hour for her to check me out, and another half an hour we sat there talking about medical things, but also talking about life in Thailand, life in Jamaica. Oh, my parents have been to Jamaica. I've been to Jamaica. All these kind of things. And I was like, I walked out of it and I went, man, that was the best experience. Because usually I go into a hospital and I'm like on guard. I'm like, I know these bastards are going to try to rip me off. And I should be thinking, hopefully they'll get me better. Now, when I don't feel good, that's all I want. Give me the pain medicine. Give me the medicine that makes me feel better, whatever. You know, it helps to have a tie in your corner when dealing with hospitals and care and money. Well, I got a tie. I got a couple of ties in my corner. And let me tell you, I'm the one who did all the dirty work. I'm the one. I don't think you remember this, but because you weren't there at the time, um, no, I'm not going to go all the way to ranks it. I don't even know where CJH is. You go to a local hospital and you find the best one. And if there's a good one, you stick with it. I like Romkamhang. It's the it's a mix between being a good hospital and being a great hospital, but also being reasonably priced. It's not. I go to Waitangi, and every time I have a problem with them, and I go in there and I'm like ready to fight somebody just when I go walk in, because I know, oh, they're going to charge me a certain amount and then they're going to try to rip me off, and that's how I feel. Now maybe it's not really true. Um, I live in Bangkok, man. I'm not going to go out the wrong sit. Doesn't make sense. Oh gods. Ugh, who cares? I think the nature of the beast, healthcare is going to make money no matter where in the world. Costs will continue to rise, especially here in America. I'm moving to Chiang Mai soon. Um, okay, I mean that's great. Chiang Mai has some decent hospitals for sure. I mean, that's where I had my hip surgery done. Half the time with the medicos anywhere in the world, you don't even need the treatment in the first place. Now, I don't think that's true, honestly. I think there are some doctors who you go into them and they are looking for anything, a reason to give you some medicine. And I can tell you most of the time, you know, you can get the medicine yourself over the counter. And if you can't, then you know damn well you need that medicine. You don't have to just, I mean, I've been in with doctors and I've told them, hey, maybe I can have this. Maybe I should try this medicine. Yeah, you know, that's a good idea. Okay, let's do that. They're taking instruction from me. It's ridiculous. You're saying some of the mistakes they make are unbelievable. Yeah, that happens sometimes, unfortunately, in medicine, but I guarantee you they're making mistakes like that in the United States. Okay. The United States got nothing on Thailand when it comes to Medicare and when it comes to uh, healthcare. They got nothing on them, man. You know, for the most part, the Thais are going to beat them all day long. Now, when you get to like really specific types of surgeries and stuff like that, well, maybe the United States is better to go to, but that's mechanics always saying you need this and need that. I think a lot of doctors don't give you enough care because of the pressure from HMOs to keep the cost down. See, that's the problem in the United States. I don't want to go to the United States and see some doctor who's like, okay, so your arm is, you've only got a half an arm. Okay, so let me just put a tourniquet on it and I'll give you some medicine and you'll be okay. Huh? I want to be taken care of and I want to be talked to, not like I'm on a production line. Yeah, I don't think about pretty girls most of the time. Although, you know, it's nice to have nice looking nurses coming in, taking good care of you. Yeah, in the US, okay, yeah, there's more problems, I would say, than there are here. But here, I mean, you know, the problem is what happened to the Hippocratic Oath? I understand doctors got to make money and they should make good money. I understand that. But that doesn't mean you need to rape everybody and make all kinds of money from them, whether they have insurance or not. And especially if they got insurance. Oh, well, we're going to charge, you know, we're going to charge more now because you got insurance. It's like, that's not cool, man, because then the insurance companies pass along the cost to you. So now you're paying more. I mean, getting good insurance when you're older is a pain in the ass. And that's the only reason why I've stuck with the same insurance company. Because I know if I switch over, Jesus Christ, it's going to be a pain in the ass to do it. You know, yeah, most of the time, I don't, if I want to get something from the phone, I know what I need when I have problems. And most of my problems are pretty minor so far, knock on wood. Yeah, I just don't do that. I'm not like, no, I'm alone here. I see women walk by and I look at them. Doesn't mean I'm, you know, thinking to myself, I got to go over to that girl now and I've got to talk to her. And oh my God, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to her. And I don't want her doing it to me. And, you know, simple as that. I mean, really, it's not about having, you know, having her, you know, get mad and, you know, high pitched kin. She's not going to give the dick to the doc. If it comes to that point, then why am I with her? What am I married for? You know, there's all kinds of questions. A lot of healthcare costs are much higher than needed to cover the cost from malpractice suits, I think, on average hospitals. Yeah, that is true. US loses 5 billion a year. I don't know if that's true, where you got that figure from, but I do know that the malpractice insurance and malpractice suits are a big reason why the costs are what they are. Now, I don't know. I mean, it is a business, and there's a lot of things that we don't know about. There are some things behind the scenes that we don't know about. You know, it's good for you if you know what you need and have it used it already. It can be dangerous if you're trying a lot of new drugs. Yeah, if you're trying new drugs, that's not what I would recommend. Don't go to the pharmacy. But you know, like if I don't know, you got a cut or something, and it looks like it's starting to get infected, go and get an antibiotic. And you go, okay, well, I need a certain antibiotic. And you get that, and then it goes away. It's fine. I try not to take, really now, I try not to take anything. Pacific Cross, Pacific Prime, Bupa, Cigna. There's a million different insurance companies, man. And, I like it when people go, oh, you can get this insurance. It's really cheap. It's really good. And you go, yeah, but the ceiling is really low. They're going to pay like $5,000 and that's it. Why would you do that? There was a research study. It's averaged $55 billion for lawsuits, and how much of that is in cost and compared to how much they profit? I don't know. Well, let me tell you something. They're earning a shitload of money. That healthcare is a major expense, and you think about when you get older. The only thing that I can hope for me is I stay healthy, and that's why I'm eating healthier and starting to exercise again, even with my arm. And that's about all you can do. But I mean, I was reading about somebody, and he was like 46 years old, and he died of a heart attack. And I'm like, it wasn't congenital. It was from the way he was living. He was living like shit. And he had a heart attack at 46. I'm like, oh my God. Well, I made it longer than him, you know. Anyway, all right. So now we know about the healthcare, and healthcare sucks. Healthcare also always sucks. I don't like insurance companies. I don't like banks. I don't like airlines. What's the other? I don't like governments much at all. So there's a lot of things I don't like, and it's all a racket. Screw the little guy. You're one, and we're a big conglomerate. Let's screw you out of your money, and we'll give you next to nothing, and you're going to like it. And that's what happens sometimes. Now, not all the time. I mean, you go in, you buy a TV, and you go, oh, this is a good TV. I got a good price for it. Okay, I understand. But sometimes you go to a place and you get something, and you go, that's kind of expensive. You're like, I really don't want to buy it. It's the only one. Oh, okay, I'll buy it. Then you go, eh. All right, so transportation. In Bangkok, you got the BTS, the MRT, the CityLink. You got boat taxis. You got regular taxis. You got motorbikes. You got Grab. You don't need to own a car if you don't want one. And in the United States, in most states, you got to have a car. It's a must. And that means you're going to have a car loan. You're going to have maintenance. You're going to have insurance. You're going to be paying gas. And that might add up to about $800 or $1,000 or even more. I've seen guys buying cars and they got $1,000 a month car payment. That doesn't even include the gas and the maintenance and everything else. So, Bangkok, I wouldn't say it's walkable because Bangkok is fairly large. But if you use public transportation, it's kind of like, well, you can live car free. Let's put it that way. You're in Alabama, no car, and you got no life. Very hard for you to have a life. I'm scared of dentists too. Motorized or pedal to taxis. So, there's no doubt if you want to live in Bangkok. Now, if you want to live in another city, even Chiang Mai, you get transportation pretty easily, and anywhere where there is a Grab or Bolt or InDriver, I mean, you can always use them. And some people, oh, well, it's so expensive. Figure it in the budget. That's what you do. You figure it into the budget. You need your transportation cost. That's all. Just figure it in the budget. If you don't have the budget, then maybe you shouldn't be here. And listen, taking a bus can be very convenient, especially like I sometimes have taken the bus down Lot Prow Road because I'm like, listen, the bus takes me all the way to the mall. That's like 10 baht. What do I care? What are you talking about? I said taxis. In some places, there are taxis. Depends on the city. Now, if you got a family here, try putting a kid in international school. If you got a couple of kids, 2, 3, 4 kids, you want them all to go to international school, it's going to set you back an arm and a leg. It might be 15, 20,000 US dollars per year for one kid. In the US, the school is free. They're decent in some states, and the US wins. Um, most of the time, the US will win. Now, my kids went to a bilingual school, and after, I would say, probably, when did they go in there? How old were they? I would say after about 3 years, we stopped paying the bilingual fee, and we just go, they don't need any more English tutoring because they spoke better English than most of the teachers, which is kind of funny. So in this case, Bangkok loses. When it comes to the school systems, Bangkok loses. If you got kids, you're going to pay, and you better make sure that you check up on the school so that you know what you're getting into. Because hey, sometimes you have to pay like a T money just to get into the school. Once you're in, you're going to change over to another school. You might have to pay T money at that school. So it's crazy. It's really crazy. I love public transport in Bangkok. I bought a car to live in the countryside a couple of years ago. I'm back in Bangkok now, and I use the car for road trips. Yeah, that's what it's good for. I live 20 kilos outside Chiang Mai, 20 baht yellow cab into town. Awesome. You can find most things within walking distance or have it delivered. Well, that is nice, but sometimes I want to go places. Like if I want to go over to the river and I want to sit at a coffee shop on the river, I got to get over there. Now, for me, I'm just like, sometimes I'll just take a taxi because I don't want to be bothered with having to go on the BTS, then transfer over to the MRT, then transfer over to the next BTS. And then from there, I got to walk and go a ways down to wherever the coffee shop. I just want, boom, door to door. Might cost me 200 baht instead of costing me, 90 or 100 baht. So sometimes I'm like, I just want the convenience. The school prices are ridiculously high in Thailand. Some of the better private schools can reach $1.5 million a year. I know. Yeah, I know. Why would I try Samai? I don't know. I mean, why would I? Okay, I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to go over and live over there now. I like where I live. You know, honestly, people be driving around here on $1,000 a month payments on 7-year loans. Yeah, to me, that's crazy. It's like buying a house. Really. I mean, you figure without anything, if it's a 7-year loan, that's like $84,000. It's crazy. I did $800 months on my cars for years, but I paid them off in 5 years, less than 5 years. Now I'm trying to get rid of the money pits. Allergic to debt. Yeah, the debt thing is something that I think people they don't think about. You should not have debt, in my opinion. Never. And if you have debt, it should be something short term that you can pay off relatively quickly. 944? Yes. All right. So, a budget, a retired couple living in Thailand, if they kind of watch their money, can live with about $2,000. That's a nice standard of living. Um, you can have a nice lifestyle. In Mississippi, it's doable, but guess what? You're going to have less amenities. And so, where would you rather stretch your $2,000? Mississippi or in Bangkok? Well, I'll take Bangkok every time. The digital nomad, oh, he wants $2,500 a month as his budget. And, he can get a nice condo, have a street food, get a co-working place, which I don't understand about that. Uh, go to the cafe, which I do. Go to the gym, which I did up to a couple of months ago. Or you can live in Oklahoma and get an apartment, a car, insurance, and you have higher costs. Uh, Bangkok, I don't know if it's heaven, but it is a digital nomad destination that is quite good. And I would say in the US, listen, being a digital nomad, you're going to be doing it at home. And if you want to go out, you're going to be paying a lot more money. Um, so you got to think about that. If you're living like in Arkansas and you're making 5,000 a month, a house plus public school is manageable. But if you're in Bangkok and you're paying the rent in international schools, which makes the budget a bit tighter, um, well, maybe the U.S. will win just because of the education and the school system, but maybe not. So you got to figure that out. Now, the quality of life is something else. Bangkok has the energy, the convenience, the healthcare, the food, the culture, and in the U.S., they generally have a slower pace. Now, I think Bangkok has a slow pace, but um, you have somewhat of a community and some space, but a lot of people are lonely. And in Thailand, it seems that people find their connection. And to me, Thailand has a better infrastructure than a place like, Arkansas or some Mississippi. And while you get a culture shock here in the beginning, if you haven't been here before, um, it's all about what kind of life you want. And if you can get past the culture shock, well, then by all means, live in Bangkok. All right. So now the other thing is the retirement visas, the LTR visas, the banking hassles, and you have no visa issues if you're American in the U.S. So, but you still got to pay taxes. Now, being a foreigner in Thailand versus being home in the United States, that's something you got to consider. Um, and cheap Mississippi may sound good, but are you ready for the reality of living there? And the same goes with Thailand. You might think it's paradise on paper, but is the paperwork really reality? Now, you know, I, I don't think that the United States is a place I ever want to live again because I've been here. Now, I may get to the point here where I go, I've had enough. I want to leave and I'll find somewhere else. My wife knows the places that I think about. She thinks about those places. She's thinking about Portugal more than Ecuador, but she's not opposed to Ecuador. And she might like it. I don't know. Depends. I'll never own another automobile in the U.S. again. I love where I live because it's nice, convenient, and cheaper. Yes, much better than Bangkok, which I know very well. Yeah, okay. If you say so. I'll never live in Oklahoma. Sorry if anyone's from Oklahoma. Okay. I'm a Texan. We're born to hate Oklahoma. From Kansas here, I will confirm this area sucks. It's cheap though. I live on 800 a month, no house payment. What about the latest banking policies with all the facial? I'm getting to that. Okay, relax, relax. Jesus Christ. Now it's funny because I have my passport and my TTB bank book because I got a message from TTB the other day. I've been meaning to go the last 2 days and I just forgotten about it. Something else I got to do is I need 100 milliliter bottles. I have to buy those, and I can't find them in the mall. Plastic bottles like to travel with. I have to go in because they sent me a message. They sent me a message that said you need to come in and get your facial recognition done. Now, I already went to SCB and they told me you only need to come in when you're ready to make a transfer over 50,000 baht. Now, I don't know that that's true, but I don't want to have to deal with it. And if they tell me to come in, I'll come in. I went to Kasi Corn. They said, oh, yeah, no problem. They were great. And Kasi Corn usually is great. Bangkok Bank and Kasi Corn are my number one banks. Okay. They're where the majority of my money goes. Now, Bangkok Bank, I went in, got my facial recognition done. Now I can transfer I can transfer 2 million baht, up to 2 million baht per account, and I have 3 accounts. Kasi Corn, it's only 200,000. But SEB, every time you want to make a transfer over 50,000, you have to call in or you have to go to the ATM it's just bullshit. And I just don't like their attitude towards their customers now. Now, maybe it's just with foreigners because Thais are supposed to have to do this too. But none of my family has gotten any messages and told me, so I don't know what the case is. How old is your passport for? I don't know. I mean, my passport is, the photo is not, my photo is older than my passport, and my passport is 2019. Jesus Christ, 2019? I'm from Austin, living in Bangkok now. Huge Horns fan. How do you watch the stand next Saturday? What does this go to the pharmacy? What are you talking about? For what? What do you go to the pharmacy for? The whole reason of me being in Thailand is my mental health, my PTSD. So much easier to manage in Thailand, where we're always getting set off in the U.S. Peace of mind. Okay, at home. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. What are you gonna stream? The Longhorns game? Good luck. I don't know what you're talking about, but if that's what you're talking about, good for you. Go ahead and do it. And see how long it lasts. I mean, really. Oh, at the pharmacy they have 100 milliliters. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's one pharmacy down the street from my house. They might have it. I don't know. I don't really know. Well, thank you. They might, but you know what? I can order them off of Shopee. This is the kind of thing I order from Shopee. Hey, listen, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up. We've had like 50 people, 60 people in here, and I got 14 thumbs up. What's going on? Come on. Give me some thumbs up, please. If I don't hit 20 in the thumbs up in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to shut this stream down. Seriously. Because, I mean, that's ridiculous. You have 60 people that come in. Now we got 43 right now. And all I got is 16 thumbs up. I hate that. Sorry, I hate to bitch, but guess what? I'm bitching. Dude, I don't care who's playing. I don't give a shit about what's going. See, this is the thing. I don't live in America. I don't care about that shit anymore. I haven't watched a fucking football game in many, many years. And I don't care about it. I really don't care. You can watch it, but you don't live here. Right? I mean, I live here and I don't want to watch it. Doesn't matter. Smash the like button. Already done it. Been subscribed for ages. Salty American. Yeah, okay, I'm salty. Scott, I didn't read that Reddit article before you sent, but I read it after. They say, don't worry about the red filter. Yeah, I saw that. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. And I can try it. I probably need some neutral density filters. I don't know. And I can get some for pretty cheap, $10 or something like that. I don't have, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, I can do all kinds of things in post, but, I'm still working on my Surat video, but I don't know how long it's going to be, maybe 30 minutes. And I've had like 3 hours of footage. Now I'm at about 45 minutes. So I'm making some progress. I mean, it's not that I'm salty, to be completely honest. It's not that, I'm so salty. It has nothing to do with that. It's about the fact that I haven't lived there in so long. So why would it matter to me? I mean, really, you think I'm still like, I'm an American here and I'm thinking about America and oh my God, wow, America's so great. No, I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, America's the greatest place on the planet. No, I don't think that. There's other places that are equally as good as the United States and better. You know, well, listen, don't say, "Oh, I'm a sports lover. I'm always going to love it." I understand, but listen, you think I didn't grow up watching and playing football? I played football in high school. I wrestled. I boxed. I did Muay Thai. I've done all kinds of things, but I don't. I just don't care about it anymore. I don't care about baseball. Don't care about basketball. Don't care about. I don't care none of this. None of it's important anymore. It's not important in my life. Makes no difference to me. I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I don't give a shit about any of it. And I see some of my friends in the United States. I got a friend. She's a woman that I was in the Air Force with. Very very nice girl. I like her, but she is so into the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, really into them. Let's go Chiefs! Ah, where are we going? That's how I think. Personally, I hate football. I'm more of a soccer fan. Okay, well, whatever. $60 to get in. I think it was second division. Yeah, I'm not paying to go in. Sorry. I'm a sports lover, but the time difference not worth trying to catch all my games. Listen, I got a Fire Stick. I can watch every single. I mean, I can watch whatever football team, whatever baseball team, whatever basketball team. I can watch everything, and I never ever watch it. Now, I think Jono watches golf, and he'll watch like a basketball game or something like that. But you know, yeah, I'm thinking about conch fritters and key lime pie. You know, I have a channel, and I know what you mean. People watch this, but not like. For goodness sake, what does it cost to hit the like button? Dude, I looked at your channel, and I can tell you that there's so many factors that go into having a channel, and that's all I'll say. I mean, you can get lucky, and you can get 100,000 subscribers in a month, and maybe it's not just luck also, but I mean, if I get 1,000 in a month, then that's pretty good month for me. And as far as the likes go, usually I get plenty of likes. I make a little bit of money here and there, and whatever. I'm fine. You're really missing out on the WNBA. Oh, come on, come on. I know you're joking, but I was a crew chief in the Air Force. WNBA. I mean, I just laugh because they're subsidized by the NBA. Thank you, Mortgage Mike. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I thought you were Michael for some reason because your post is right next to him, but you're not. So what is this? Them NBA chicks shoot better threes than the men. Not kidding. Yeah, that's gonna make me watch. Yes, I was joking. Okay, I knew that. Thank you very much. Give Mike a thumbs up there. Choke D to you. Appreciate that. Um, Listen, I ain't watching the WNBA. Seriously, I don't watch like just pure jujitsu. I almost never watch unless it's like two like great jujitsu masters. I don't watch the best Muay Thai. I mean, I used to go to Muay Thai and I had a media credential that allowed me to go in for free to every single event. I never had to pay, and I was on the ring apron with my camera. I'm right there. Now, if I didn't want to take photos, I don't have to. I can just stand there, sit there, whatever, lay on the canvas. And I saw some great fighters. And now I'm like, okay, you know, um, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And the thing is my interests have changed. That happens. You get older, your interests change, and that's the way that it goes. I don't think anybody here watches the WNBA. Seriously. As far as the fight that went, I don't think that was Duplessis was a dud. I think he just couldn't handle Hamzat. He could not handle him. And that guy's wrestling is at another level. And I'll tell you something. There was somebody that I know who was talking about, oh, they can fight and they can do this. And I go, dude, how many fights have you had in your life? One. And I go, you think you're going to match up to a skilled fighter and you're going to be able to fight him? No, it's not going to happen. You're just not. You could think you can. And I saw the video the other day of Tony Jeffries, who was an Olympian, a British Olympian, who I photographed in 2008. And I sent him the photos, and his mother talked to me. And, very nice guy, very down to earth. And he's teaching boxing now because he boxed for, I think he had 14, 15 fights, and he won them all. But he broke his hands in a really bad way. And his hands are all messed up. And so he doesn't fight anymore. But he teaches boxing. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got an Instagram, and he's great. He went around in Bali and started asking people if they could fight. And you could tell the guys who, like they knew they could fight, And you could tell the guys who were like, well, no, I've never taken any martial arts. I've never boxed. But I think I would get in there and I'd do a good job. I'm just like, come on. Japanese female wrestlers. Ugh. Would rather watch paint dry than watch the WNBA. Yeah, me too. I don't watch WNBA because the whole thing's the same. Sans Caitlin Clark. I'd watch if it was Women's Naked Basketball Association. Well, what was that chick that went to Russia and she got busted? And I have no mercy for her. And that bitch was lucky. She was so lucky that she had people fighting to get her out of Russia. Forget what her name was. She was tall. Brittany Greer, yeah. Brittany Griner. Okay. If it was me, I would have said, listen, this is the law in Russia. You did it. Sit your ass in jail and shut up. I think she went there for basketball. I think that's what she used to go there for. But she went there with weed. And they have a particular law. And she broke it. And now you got to pay the price, honey. It's like, oh, well, they're treating me poorly here. They need to let me go home. No, they don't need to do shit. I had no mercy for her. And listen, I used to smoke a hell of a lot of weed. I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke a hell of a lot in my 20s. And, I think, hey, if you want to smoke, that's your right. But you got to remember the laws. And the law is here in Thailand that if you got bud and you didn't get it with a prescription, you're not really supposed to have it. Now they're not going to do much, and this is Thailand. And what I found really appalling was that I started saying, well, they got the rule in the rule book now. It's in the Royal Gazette that you got to have a prescription. And yet people were giving me shit like I'm the one who created the rule. It's like, what's going on, man? Oh, God. And quite frankly, I don't really care. I don't think people should go to jail for smoking a weed. I mean, it's so crazy. But anyway, getting back to the bank issue. I think that the banks now, they're acting in a way that is unprofessional, and it's going to drive business away. It's going to drive foreigners away. It's going to drive investors, most importantly, away. Because let me tell you something. I got the message and I made a video, I think it was yesterday. And the guy was I don't think he's lying. I don't have any reason to suspect he was bullshitting or anything like that. He said he was a multimillionaire. And he said, I had my money in SCB, and this bank told me that my phone number and my bank account, the number on my bank account, phone number on my bank account didn't match. I needed to go in there within 24 hours or they're going to shut my bank account. So he went in right away. The numbers weren't mismatched. They made a mistake. So he complained and he took his money out, which good for him. Why should he keep his money in there? And let me tell you something. After what happened to me at SEB, when I said to the guy, listen, I know at Kasikorn, you can transfer 200,000 baht. You just go in and get your facial recognition. And the guy's like, then go to Kasikorn and open an account. And I'm like, hey, man, this is a security guard who's acting as the person to give you your number. And he thought his shit didn't stink. He thought he was somebody special. And I just went, well, maybe I don't need an account here. And, I don't need the account. I don't need an SEB account. I really don't need it. Now, I use it just for my transportation. That's it. It's very easy. Usually I put in about 6,000 baht, and that's for the whole month. And that's for, so it doesn't matter how much he had in there. He didn't say that. He just said he's, well, I was a crew chief 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago. Well, I can tell you now that what I'm doing is now, I mean, I could have done this before. I have 3 different banks in the United States. One of them, I use it just for Amazon payments, and I don't get much, maybe $20 a month, maybe every 2 months, something like that. And I just let that build up. I have 2 accounts at that bank. I have 2 accounts at Truist, savings and a checking. I get money put in there every month. And generally what I do is take it out with Wise, or I just use it as a charge. I go to the grocery, whatever I need to pay with, I pay with my card. The problem is you don't get a great rate. You get a poor rate. It's like taking out from the ATM. Your rate is less than you would get at Wise, taking out money from Wise, what you pay, or Remitly, if you will, or whatever you're using. Your rate is not as good. So the thing is that I had a Thai account. I had a Thai Wise account. I opened it up. My account was in Thailand. My address was in Thailand. For a long time, they've said, no, there's no cards in Thailand, none available, blah, blah, blah. I said, I should switch. For a long time, I thought I should switch to the United States. Finally, a couple of days ago, I switched to the United States. And then I was able to order the Wise card. Now, they did tell me they were going to ship to Thailand. And then they said, oh, we don't ship to Thailand. Sorry. So they have to ship it to my address in the States, and then I'll have it sent here. So I'll get the Wise card. Now, what that means is I get a lot of money put right into Wise. YouTube money, Social Security, everything goes right into Wise. So I have that. I have the card. Now, if I go, I need a 50 baht for the motorcycle. I need, 200 baht for and maybe the guy's, maybe he's using a QR code, maybe he's not, but you got to have a QR code here. You got to have money in the bank. So, okay, you put 20,000 baht in the bank and then you don't transfer any money after that. When the 20,000 is gone, you put another 10, 20,000 in the bank and you use that and you use the cash. Otherwise, you use the card. When you're using the Wise card, the exchange fee is quite good. It's like making a transfer to Thailand. So if it costs you 1%, it's going to cost you 1% when you're paying it. Whereas the bank, Truist, charges 3%, which is a ripoff, international fee. So that's something else to think about. And so now I'm like, I'm not putting as much cash. And what I will do is when I go home to the United States, I will take out, maybe I'll take $9,999 and I'll put it in my pocket and I'll come to Thailand and I will have it converted And then I'll have that. And I won't even put it in the bank. I'll put a little bit for the QR codes. Because I use the QR code on the motorcycles, I use it on the taxis. And now when I get into a taxi, I go, do you take you transfer money? Can you take the transfer? Oh, no have. QR medai. Medai. Okay, go to the next one. Oh, okay, you take it. Great. That's what I do because I don't want to use. I just don't want to use cash if I don't need to. I'd rather use my card in the U.S. That's what I'd rather do. How did you get it? It's very easy. You can bring 20,000 cash in a time. Yeah, whatever. You have to declare it in the U.S. when you leave. Yeah, and I don't want to declare it. Why would I want to declare it? If I come with my wife, I'll give her, $10,000 and $9,999, and I'll have $9,999 in my pocket. If I got that much to bring over, and then every once in a while I'll convert some money when the rate is good. It's not difficult. An Amazon? What are you talking about? I have Truist because it's near my house in Florida. I have Charles Schwab because I wanted a Charles Schwab brokerage account. I have Wise because that's how you transfer money. I have a reason for everything, at least in my mind. I have a bank account and I use it just for groceries. I put in, whatever it is I'm going to put in for the month. Okay, put 20,000 in. I put 20,000 in. The money runs out and it's the 24th. I don't have any more money for groceries. That's how it works. We're not talking about stocks, Robert. We don't need to do that. I have a few stocks, just a little bit. Well, I think a good rate is 34, 35. We're at 32. What is it right now? Let me see here. 32.57. By the way, the air quality is 64, and I feel it in my nose. I know I have allergies. The temperature, 86 degrees. Yeah, 86 degrees right now. Thunderstorms predicted for tonight. Yes, I've tried crypto. I know about crypto. I've made some money on crypto. I love how I get these questions. Have you ever tried crypto? Yes, I have. All right. So, the thing is that if you are here, well, yeah, but that's great, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You're not going to make 35 or 36 if they're not giving that in the market. That's just the way that it goes. What are you going to do about it? Can't do anything. Listen, I was here when it was 56, 50, 55, 56 to the dollar. I was here then, and it was fantastic. But I'm like, I know the Thais are going to start raising their prices, and they did. Yes, I made money on crypto. And I could have held on to it and made a lot more, but I didn't. I got rid of it. I just was like, eh. I know I'm spread around. I've got a lot of different accounts, and some of the accounts got no money. Some of them have money. Now, if you break it all down, the housing, the food, the healthcare, the transportation, the education, the quality of life, the value, what is your verdict? Are you a single person? Are you a retired person? Are you a digital nomad? Because Bangkok absolutely buries the cheapest states in America. They just beat them in almost every way. And you get more for less here. And that's the reason why most people still like Thailand, even with the hassles that you get. A $2,000 budget in Bangkok gives you some convenience, some options, a little bit of dignity. And that same $2,000 in Mississippi or West Virginia, you may cover your bills, but you're not going to get much else. So now, if you got kids and you're thinking about schools, Bangkok can get a little bit complicated, and you really need to do your research. And I really researched the schools before I sent them to school, because we didn't want to send them to a school and then, they do 2 years there and we go, oh, this school is not very good. We better change it. They still go back to their school now and try to see some of their teachers. Some of them have passed away. Some of them are no longer there, but they go in and try to see them, and that's interesting for them, I guess. But the international schools are very expensive. We couldn't afford to send both of them to an international school. It's just too expensive. And that's, the U.S. kind of wins there. And I mean, I would say the U.S. system is better than the Thai system. I mean, that's just the way that it is. It is better. So, we did think about going back to the United States at the time, and it just didn't make sense. So, uh, for a family, maybe the cheap states in the U.S. make sense. But do you want cheaper schooling and a bigger house? You want a more depressing lifestyle? Because my lifestyle is far from depressing here. Do you want to raise kids in an international environment with access to world-class healthcare and global culture, even if you're paying more? Because sometimes it's not just about the money. Like I said, it's the value and how you feel. Great, you're a dude. A lot of assets isn't bad. I didn't say a lot, but I'm doing better now. I'll always say I'd rather live cheaply in Thailand than cheaply in the West. Our kids are still dumb here. Yeah, I know that. I know that, and I can see that. Kids are still stupid wherever they are. School doesn't necessarily give them anything but options as far as where they can go and what they can do in life. And sometimes it doesn't matter how good their education is; they still don't do very well, which I think is sad. Um, the real comparison isn't really Bangkok versus Mississippi or Arkansas or wherever it might be, Alabama, Kansas. It's cheapness versus the value. And I've been saying this from the very beginning, and maybe you guys who have been here for a while know. I always go, I don't really shop on the cost, I shop on the value. Sometimes I'll buy something that's more expensive because I think the value is better. In the US, cheap means bare bones, less quality, fewer options, less convenience. In Bangkok, cheap means that you still buy access to kind of a vibrant global city with an insane amount of amenities. You're not just surviving here. When you got $2,000 a month and you're a single guy, you're not surviving here. You're living. Now you got to live within a budget. You got to be smart. You can't be crazy and go out and spend $1,000 on in a night because you want to go out and have 10 girls come home with you, or maybe like six. You don't want six girls coming over to the house. You don't want to spend money like that. But you can live here conservatively fairly well. Um, and that's why so many people choose living here over the cheapest states back in the U.S. If you're sitting in a small town in Oklahoma eating frozen pizza, paying $500 a month for the car that you might hate it, wondering where all your money goes. Instead, imagine living in a Bangkok condo, waking up, looking out the window and seeing the city, and walking downstairs to grab some fresh fruit. You hop on the Sky Train and you explore the city, and you know that even if you get sick, you can walk into a hospital with a small wad of cash, and it's not going to bankrupt you. I mean, I know for a fact that if I had a procedure that needed to be done, I'm not going to say a very expensive procedure, but we'll say if I had uh, like a medium level incident and I needed surgery, yeah, it's going to cost me. It might hurt me a little bit, but I could, if I really wanted, I can go to a public hospital and pay a lot less. Hey, Bruce, how you doing, man? Um, So, you know that you can walk into the hospital and it's not going to bankrupt you. And that in itself is an upgrade in your lifestyle. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what do you want your money to buy? Oh, God. That was 7. I got allergies, man. Do you want cheap survival in America's cheapest states? Or do you want a lifestyle where your dollar goes farther and you can actually enjoy your life a little bit? And for most people, the answer is clear, but you got to get past that idea that, oh, I'm scared. I don't know if I should do it. If you're even thinking that way, you look at the financial aspect of it. If you owe a lot of money on your house and you're gonna make like $12,000, I wouldn't come here then. I wouldn't bank on that. But if you are just about paid off with the house or you're paid off and you go, hey, I'm gonna net $300,000. Okay, you got 300,000, you got your social security, you go, you know what, I'm out of here. You figure it out, you figure out how much you want your budget to be or how much you can afford, and you move. I mean, that's what I've learned over the time, because when I first came here, I didn't know shit, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't know anything. I had no idea about being an expat or living abroad. I really didn't know. I was like, I'm just getting on a plane. I really like Thailand. I'm going to go there. And it was like I came and all the people that I had met in my first couple of trips, I was like, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going? Guess what? I live here now. Wow. And they're like, oh, that's nice. And that was it. I didn't get much. So, you have to think about that. But the next time someone says, oh, why don't you move to Mississippi or go to Kansas? It's cheaper there. And you know the truth. Cheaper does not always mean better. And sometimes the value that you get from some other place, and it doesn't have to be Thailand. It can be Thailand. It can be Ecuador. It can be Portugal. It can be Costa Rica, Mexico, Albania, Greece, wherever you want. Most of those places, they're a better value than the United States, like Australia, the UK. They are a better value. Um, so that's the long and short of it. And you want to be able to live the way that you want to live. That's what you want. You want to live in a way that every day you go out, you feel good. When you leave a place and you paid some money, you feel good. You don't feel like, oh my God, I just blew so much cash on this. And what am I getting for it? Like with insurance. I mean, listen, insurance here is cheaper than in the US for the most part. But, you want to feel good. That's the whole thing. How many of those you knew then have stayed here? Bet not many. No, not many. Very few. Very few have stayed 30 years. Very few have stayed 20 years. There's a lot of people who have stayed 5 years, 10 years, maybe up to 20 years. But after about 20 years, people start deciding to go back. Been going to Thailand for 14 years, 2 more years, kids will finish their uni and Thailand will be home. Okay. You got to get them through university. Then you're going to be like, well, they've got to get jobs. I want to make sure they have a job and they have money and they're okay. That's what I'm doing right now. Now, Alex has a job and he's actually thinking about what I was thinking about doing, which is going to work on like an oil rig or in a mine on a construction site, making a bunch of money while he's young and while he can do it. And, and then he's a young man. He's got plenty of cash. I mean, he's got a little bit of cash stash now, but, I told him, I said, your mother and I saw Oasis, and it's been 24 years since we saw Oasis. And guess what? They're coming in December. He said, really? And I said, yeah, really. I said, I'm thinking about getting a couple of tickets for me and your mother and surprising her. And he goes, oh, I'll pay for part of that. He goes, I'll pay for half of that. And I go, Alex, you don't need to pay anything. Okay. Don't worry about it. But he's like, no, I'm making money. I got money saved. And that's something I think would be nice for you guys. I don't mind paying for that. Anyway, he's a good kid, you know. He could be a merchant marine. Um, Unfortunately, Thailand is changing and basically making it more difficult for foreigners to live here. I don't feel that. I see it and I hear it, but so far, knock on wood, I've been lucky. I don't see it getting more difficult. I know they are tightening up a little bit, but for the most part, it doesn't matter. Listen, if you got the 800K, you got 400K. If you're married, what are you worried about? You have a couple of bank accounts, open 2 or 3, just in case one starts giving you problems. You know, what's so hard? Okay, the bank, that, you know, once the banks mellow out a little bit, and I think some of it was started because of the scams on the border, and those had nothing to do with Westerners, or very, very little to do with Westerners. So, you know, speaking of which, how much are tickets for events like that? Never went to see a big band in Thailand. I don't know how much these are because they're not on sale yet. They haven't put them up. But generally, I mean, listen, La Lisa, my wife went to see her, 10,000 baht for a ticket. And that was not the best seats. It was a good seat, but it wasn't the best seat. And people didn't even sit. 10,000 baht. And I'm like, are you kidding me? My sister and her daughter went to Taylor Swift, and it was something outrageous, like $1,000. It was crazy. I actually saw that advertisement for Oasis. Yeah, I mean, I like them. I think some of their music sounds the same, but I do like them and I like their songs. And would I go? Maybe. I mean, maybe I'll go. I don't know. It depends how much the tickets are. If I can get a ticket for 4,000 or 5,000 baht and it's a decent seat, I'll probably take her. I'll go, I got a surprise for you. You know, keep your, you know. No, you don't lose your property. First of all, if you want, you can sell it to somebody who's Thai. Second of all, I got kids. My kids can get those. They're Thai and American. So my kids can get any property. It comes to me and you have it for a year. You have a year to do something with that property, to get rid of it or something like that. Yeah, I don't want him paying for anything, man. I want him to save his money. You know, when I go, I want those kids to be not worried. I don't want them to worry about money. I don't think that's true. Although maybe they changed it. I don't know. So even as a foreigner, you cannot inherit her land. The land needs to be transferred to an eligible Thai heir, which would be one of my kids. Okay. Typically, the period the land department gives is 12 months for the land to be disposed of or transferred. This is consistent with Section 93 of the Thai Land Code, which states foreigners who acquire land by inheritance as a statutory heir must dispose of it within 1 year. So there you go. I wouldn't go see Guns N' Roses now. No way. I've already seen them. Um, I've already seen Guns N' Roses when they were at their peak. And they're no longer at their peak. I mean, come on. Axl Rose can't sing the same way that he used to, not even close. Well, you don't have kids here. You got 12 months to do something. Get it to somebody who's somebody who's legal, can legally own the property. You have 1 year. And I just read you the passage, and that's what it is. Guns N' Roses last May around 7,000 baht, which is I wouldn't pay that. Living trust in case I go to the kids, get it all. 2K. I flew from Taiwan to the U.S. to see them. Last tour for Rush. Yeah, Rush is no more, unfortunately. Anyway, all right, we are out of time. It's time to go. So guess what? Bye bye. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you next Thursday. All right? Take it easy. Here you go. I'm going to give you my why. There you go. There's your why. Do me a favor, click the like button one more time. I'd appreciate it. Everything's down below in the description. If you need any information, get a hold of me, whatever. If you don't, that's good too. Just keep watching. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you later. Yeah, I don't go see Christian rock bands. I'm sorry. It's just not my thing. Anyway, you guys take it easy. I'll talk to you later. All right. Choke D, all that good stuff. I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, Lil Jerk. And my wife would have liked to see Coldplay. And nowadays, I don't know if I can get her in to see a concert because I don't know if they're coming to Bangkok. I used to check once in a while, but anyway, we'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye. Boom.